Hello everyone, this session is going to be 20 minutes long and it's going to take place on the floor, so you'll need a mat. We're going to start with a 5-minute warm up, then move into mobility, strength, and then finish with a 5-minute cool down. So if you've got your mats out, we'll go down to the floor for our first exercise, which is going to be knees side to side. So you're going to have your feet together, your arms extended out, and you're going to move your knees from side to side and then just go slowly at a nice slow pace. Okay, so we're going to do a minute. So when you're ready, we're going to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so focus on having your arms extended out, away from your body, just below shoulder level. So your hands should just be lower than shoulder level. As you're going knees side to side, if you can't get your knees towards the floor, that's fine. Just maintain your shoulders on the floor the whole time. So if your shoulders start to lift, you've gone too far. Eventually, over time, you're going to increase that mobility and those knees are going to go closer towards the floor. So this is a great stretch for your lower back. So going through at a nice steady pace. You want to feel the stretch come across that lower back. And then you can hold for a second or two in that position. So you can go down, you can hold for a second. Imagine a weight is pushing your legs down in towards the floor. Your shoulders are still on the back. Okay, that's it. Well done. So the next exercise we're going to do is you're going to have one leg bent, one leg straight, hands on the floor. You're going to try to lift that leg up for 30 seconds is what we're aiming for. But if you can't do that, then you can always bend your leg. So you can bend your leg and bring it up. So ideally we're going straight leg, but if you can't do that, just bend. Okay, we're going to do 30 seconds on each leg. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. So I'm going to start with a straight leg. If my back starts to lift, I've gone too far. So I just go to the range of motion where I feel comfortable. If you feel like you've got tension in your back, then just bend your knee as you come up. You can bend your knee completely into almost into a right angle if you like. But if you can, I want you to do a straight leg, flexing your toe towards you, lifting up from there. Good. I'm on the left side to start off with. Once we've done our 30 seconds, which is now, you're going to change. Okay, so everyone change legs. Going straight up. Good. Flexing that toe towards you as you go up. Good. Now you flex your toes so that you can engage the back of your leg, your hamstrings. So you're trying to lock out that leg as well. So it's a real good stretch to engage the back of your leg. Also you might feel this in your calf muscle as well if that's particularly tight. Good. Keep going. Well done. Okay, now we're going back into knee side to side, but this time what we're going to do is either try to go with your hands on the floor and you're just going knees side to side from there. So again, we're going to do a minute. Now if that's too much pressure on your wrist, try to go on your forearms and do it. And again, if that's too much pressure, you go back to your shoulders if you like. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. So I'm going to start on my hands. And my feet are in the same position they were before. So one foot tracks under the other. It's almost like the soles of your shoes become one. And imagine your ankles are tied together. So you're trying to extend that range of motion, trying to get those knees down towards the floor. Good work. Slow and controlled. Now, if that's too much on your wrist, you just go down onto your forearms. Now, if this is too much on your shoulders, then go back to the position that we started with. Because the idea is to loosen up that lower back. Very good. And stop there. Okay, the last exercise is going to be back rockers. So you're going to hold your knees and you're going to try to rock forward and back. So you're trying to create a rounding of your back as you go through this range of motion. Okay, so you're trying to bring your knees in towards your chest, and then as you come up, you bring your chest in towards your knees, okay? So Hopefully everyone's got that action. We've already started. We've got about 10 seconds to go. Good work. Good. If you don't get as much range of motion as what I'm getting, that's fine. You know, we've all got different compositions in terms of our body. And if this is an action that you're not used to, you might not be familiar with it yet, but you'll get there. Okay, that's it. Well, that's the warm-up done. So we're going to move on to some shoulder mobility exercises. So keep your legs bent. And then for the first action, what we're going to do is arms straight up in the air. And you're going to go back down. It's like a front raise, but you're lying on your back. As you do this exercise, make sure that you're engaging your core and you're trying to close that gap between your back and the floor. Okay, let's go. Good work. Trying to reach as far back as you can, but try to keep your arms locked out as you do it. So nice straight arms as we go back. Very good. Reaching back as far as you can. Now, if your arms get heavy here, you can always have a rest. This is working on your mobility, but holding your arms up in that position can cause a bit of fatigue. So make sure that you do it at a level that you're comfortable with. Very good. Going back. Good. Pushing back. Good. Well done. We'll do 2 more. And last one. Okay, next exercise, I want your hands to be at a right angle. So your arm is in line with your elbows are in line with your shoulders, and your elbows stay on the floor and the back of your arms stay on the floor. You try to reach your hands back. Okay, so this is a rotator cuff exercise. You might find it a struggle to get all the way back to start off with, but just do your best. So let's go into this exercise, slow and controlled. Moving through that action, trying to maintain elbows in line with shoulders, trying to make sure that you're pulling your belly button in towards the floor so your back stays straight. And your hands, once they've come up, they should stay in line with your elbows, and then they start to move back. Okay, beyond your shoulders. So your hands move back, beyond your shoulders, your arms, the back of your arms are still in contact with the floor the whole time. As we go back from that pose. Good. Reaching back. We're going to do 2 more. Okay, last one. Good. Okay, so next action, I want you to have your hands up in front of you. So hands should be like a shark fin, and then line with your chest, and then you're going to try to open your arms out away from your body in line with your chest, out to the side, trying to pull that belly button in so we close that gap between your back and the floor. Okay, ready? Let's go. Opening that up, and then coming back over the top of your chest, up, and back over the top of your chest. So you should feel the sensation in your chest as you go down. You might feel this in your forearms as well. Try to stay engaged. And what I mean by that is don't just let your arms flop down and let gravity take over. Really lower those arms down to the floor and then slowly bring them back up, okay? So you're adding the resistance by decreasing your tempo. Decrease your speed, and you actually make this exercise more challenging. So fight against gravity as you go down, squeezing your chest. As you come up, try to engage your chest and bring it together. And then try to open your chest up as you're going back down. Okay, that's great. That's the mobility part of the session done. Now we're going to try to engage your core. So what I want you to focus on here is imagine there's a coin that sits on your belly button. Now that coin will travel down towards your vertebrae, and then from there it will travel up that vertebrae column to sit underneath your rib cage. Another way of thinking about it is you're trying to close the gap between your back and the floor. Now, depending on the curvature of your back, this might not be completely possible to actually close the gap altogether, but you can definitely decrease that gap between your back and the floor. Okay, so what I want you to do is engage your core. We're going to engage for 5 seconds. So hold, find a place where your hip bone is on each side. Come up 1 centimeter, go inwards 1 centimeter. Now just feel there, should feel nice and soft. Now what I want you to do is pull your belly button in towards your spine, tuck it underneath your rib cage and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and relax. Okay, now you should have felt your core switch on there. It should have felt harder when you pushed in. Let's do it again. Going down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and relax. Okay, we're going to try it again. So we're just having a few seconds in between. Ready, go. Engage that core, pull that belly button in towards your spine, tuck it underneath your rib cage, and relax. Good, okay, that's it for engaging your core. Now I want you to remember that sensation, because the next exercise we're going to do is a plank, but I want you to plank on your knees. Now if you can do it on your toes, that's fine, go for it. But otherwise your elbows are tracking underneath your shoulder, and then your knees are back. Your back is flat. Pull your belly button in towards your spine. Tuck it underneath your rib cage. We're going to hold here for 30 seconds. Now, if you can go on your toes and you want to do that, then by all means go on your toes, lock out your legs. But as you're doing this exercise, I want you to try to maintain a flat back. Pull your belly button in towards your spine. Tuck it underneath your rib cage. Also try to squeeze your glutes together as well. That will make a difference. Good. And relax. Okay, so the next exercise, you're lying on your front. Your hands are in front of you. Rest your forehead on the floor. Then bring your elbows out and then in towards your body. You're trying to engage the muscles in your back here. So really set your shoulder blades back and down. Try to open up your chest as you do it. Okay, so hands out in front. We're going to go for 30 seconds. Ready? Go. Forehead on the floor. Down we go. Try to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Then come back up. Try to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Come back up. Squeeze. Back up. Squeeze. Back up. Good. If you need a rest, take it and relax. Okay, so the next exercise from here is going to be a clam. So what we're going to do is 30 seconds on each side where your feet are tracking on top of one another. Your feet should also run in line with your hips and with your whole body. So there should be a straight line that runs through your shoulders, your body, your hips, and your ankles. And then from there, you're going to open up your legs slowly. So we don't want to open up too much because that disengages the muscle that we're trying to actually engage in the first place. We're trying to get your gluteus and your piriformis muscle. So by doing that, you need to keep a nice close range of motion. Okay, ready? Let's go. 30 seconds. Good. Slow and controlled. Like they say, slow and steady wins the race. If you go too fast, you're letting gravity take over. Make sure that we're engaging our muscles. We're also being conscious of the muscles that we're trying to work in the first place. Good. Slow and controlled action. Good. And that's it. Okay, change. So I'm just going to swivel to the next side. I'm going to make sure my body is in line like it was before. Ankles, hips, shoulders are in line, supporting my head. Ready, let's go. So nice, slow and controlled action. Good. We've got 10 seconds to go. Making sure your hips are square, facing forward. Good. Okay. So now from that action, what I want you to do is hold a spink stretch. So you're going to lie on your front. And what we're aiming to do here is elbows in line with shoulders, hands in like a prayer position, looking straight ahead. Push your belly button in towards your spine. No, sorry, push your belly button in towards the floor and then look straight ahead. Now, if that's too much on your neck, you can just look down slightly. I want you to set your shoulder blades back and down. Set your shoulder blades back and down, so everyone should be in this position now. Elbows should be in line with shoulders, hands in a prayer position, or you can interlock your fingers. You can look straight ahead. If that hurts your neck, just slightly gaze down. Set your shoulder blades back. Push your hips in towards the floor. And you should feel a stretch in your lower to middle of your back. If you're feeling that stretch, then that's great because you're engaging the muscles that we're trying to incorporate here. Very good. Now from there, we're going to hold a child's pose. So what I want you to do, if you're not familiar with this, is you're going to have your hands shoulder width apart and you're going to sit back on your heels and just hold that stretch. Now not everyone will be able to hold a child's pose, so depending on your knees, you might want to go back into knees side to side or a stretch like that. But if you can, let's go down into a child's pose. You can have your head elevated, looking down, or you can place your forehead on the floor. Now by having your forehead on the floor, this is going to allow you to relax your neck a little bit if it was stiff. But if you can have your head elevated and that doesn't affect your neck, then you can open up your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and you get a deeper stretch in your middle of your back as well as your lower back. Keep your breathing going here, so you want to inhale through your nostrils, exhale through your mouth. Think 4 seconds in and 4 seconds out. 4 seconds in and 4 seconds out. Good. Okay, now from there, what I want you to do is you're going to bring your arm across. So in this child's pose position, you're trying to bring that arm through and you're going to stretch one side of your body. We'll hold here for 30 seconds and then you'll go across and do the other side. Okay, so you try and extend your arm through. So let's go. 3, 2, 1. One arm out in front. Bring that arm through. Look through to that side. Rest that arm on the floor, both arms. Well, one arm and one hand, should I say. And really push your shoulder and your elbow into the floor. You should feel a stretch in the middle of your back. If you're going to the right side, you'll feel it in the left side of your back. Good. And then we're going to change sides. So the same principle. Push your elbow and your shoulder in towards the floor. I'm going to the left side now. Hopefully you'll start to feel it in the right side of your back. Now sometimes you have to reposition your arm. Your arm might be too low down. It needs to be higher up and out to actually get that stretch in that middle of the back. Good. Well done. Okay. That's it, everybody, for the first part of the session. If you want to stay on for the moderate to higher intensity session, by all means, you can do that. Otherwise, thank you for your time and looking forward to seeing you in the next session.